Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in. And you already know, you hear it. My voice is still kind of bad. Been dealing with some physical stuff with my voice. That's why you guys haven't really seen me post too much content as far as me talking. It's because my voice has been kind of out of whack for at least the last 3 weeks. I'm starting to get a handle on exactly what's going wrong. It's no matter what, I'm still going to pump out some content. And it's time to get back to it. Today, we're going to take a look at what player can break out from each team heading in this 2023 season, as in what player on each roster could potentially have a breakout 2023 season. We're going to take a look at that today. Before I do that, make sure you guys leave this video a like and make sure you click the sub button. But without further ado, let's dive into it. Alright, we're looking at this article, and first, Greg Dortch of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this team is in the flux of a rebuild, and DeAndre Hopkins is no longer there, so they have a little bit of a young roster, and Greg Dortch is a potentially solid wide receiver. I don't know if Kyler Murray is going to be ready week 1 or not, but they're going to need somebody to step up. They have Rondell Moore still on the roster, but they're going to need somebody else on that wide receiver core to break out. So that's why I see that a guy like Greg Dortch is on this list, and I'm not mad at it. He could potentially be that one. Next is Desmond Ridder for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, personally, I don't think that's going to happen. I've never been big on a guy like Desmond Ridder, but this Atlanta Falcons team, they're going to need something from that quarterback position, so Desmond Ridder is the potential guy. I'm not a personal believer in him based off what we saw in his rookie season, but things can change, so I understand why he's a potential breakout player for the Atlanta Falcons. Next, we're going to have my guy from the Ohio State University, Mr. J.K. Dobbins, as the Ravens running back, and he's coming off of the health issues dealt with last year with the torn ACL, and I personally am a fan of J.K. Dobbins. Like I said, he went to Ohio State. And with this offense, along with Edwards, along with a guy like Odell Beckham that they brought in with Lamar Jackson's feet, this team could potentially have a really good year. And J.K. Dobbins at that running back position is going to be needed to step up. And I can see he could potentially have a very, very good year. I'm rooting for him. That's my personal reasons. But I think he's going to have a very good year for the Baltimore Ravens coming up. And not to mention, they added Zay Flowers in the draft, which I think is a very good move for them. Next, Greg Rousseau, if I don't want to mess this up. For the Buffalo Bills, edge rusher, yeah. Von Miller, we don't know what he's going to be like coming off of his injury. This defense is going to need pass rush help. You have Ed Oliver in the middle, so it's probably going to free up a little bit more for Rousseau. And you have Von Miller, so that's going to free up more one-on-one matchups. So he could potentially have a really good year for the Buffalo Bills defense. And they're going to need somebody to step up and rush the quarterback, which I think they hampered them a little bit last year. So I think this is going to be a good move for putting him as a potential breakout player for the Buffalo Bills. Next, we're going to have J.C. Horn. I think he can break out if he can stay healthy. He has to stay healthy. He's potential to be a very good corner. It's just he has not been healthy. If he's healthy, yes, he can break out. It's just a matter of him staying healthy. He hasn't done that the first 2 seasons of his career. When he's played, you see it there. It's just he hasn't been healthy. But if healthy, yeah, he could be the breakout player.
Today's video is brought to you by ExpressVPN. For me, it is very important to have a VPN to protect my online privacy. It'd be very, very creepy if there was someone out there who kept a log of every single thing that you did online. So why let your internet provider really do that to you online. The best thing to do is to get yourself a VPN, and why not go with the ExpressVPN, the best VPN available. Personally, I like it for the fact that you can unlock Netflix shows that you do not get in the US market. Now, one show that I've started to get myself into is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You search Brooklyn Nine-Nine in the US, doesn't come up, but you can switch your location to Canada, and you can research Brooklyn Nine-Nine again, and bam, it pops up right then and there, and you can catch up on your episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Now, if you click the link in the description below, you will get 3 free months of ExpressVPN. Just by clicking the link below and you sign up today, you will get 3 months free of ExpressVPN. All you have to do is click the link down below, and you will get ExpressVPN. Now, let's just get back to the video.
My Bears. Fields. Yes. Now, of course, I've been talking about them on this channel all off season. They finally have some weapons. They've had DJ Moore. They have Chase Claypool in a full year. Darnell Mooney coming back healthy. Khalil, Herbert, Foreman in the backfield with Kmet, with a much improved offensive line. Justin Fields is poised to break out in 2023. Not just his legs, but as far as throwing the football. He's been working all off season to really hone his passing mechanics and get timing down with his receivers. So I personally think this is the best potential candidate to break out in 2023. And we're not talking about him running the football. We're talking about him throwing the football to his weapons and spreading it out. So yes, I'm gonna be biased. Yes, Justin Fields. Jonah Williams. Now this is interesting. He did want out. They did sign Orlando Brown Jr. to help with that offensive line, but I think Jonah Williams moving to right tackle could be a very good thing, because we know Orlando Brown is going to play the left tackle spot, and him having that right tackle spot solidified is going to be a very big deal with that Cincinnati Bengals offensive line, which has struggled over the past couple of years to protect Joe Burrow. And Jonah Williams is going to have a breakout season in order for the Bengals to kind of, I'm not going to say get over the hump, but for them to really stay there and Joe Burrow to keep his health, Jonah Williams is going to have to break out and have a very good season. So, yes, I can see that. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Now, I've been one of those people that he's been a very underrated player. He has been very solid throughout the first couple of years of his career. And I like his impact that he's had on this Cleveland Brown defense. They kind of didn't live up to some expectation with Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward last year, but this guy right here, Owusu-Koramoah, I believe he can have a potential breakout year. Now, I know his impact at that linebacker position is going to be very much key in what the Browns defense is going to do in 2023. I like his game. I think he can break out, and I agree with this. Jalen Tolbert of the Dallas Cowboys. He didn't make that much of an impact as a rookie last year, but I think you're going to see a little bit more of him, even though they did add Brandon Cooks at the wide receiver position, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. But I think they're going to need some extra wide receiver help, whether it's guys not staying healthy or just guys not really playing up to that level. I believe Jalen Tolbert, he can probably have a decent breakout season in 2023. You probably can put Tony Pollard here, but we're not sure that he's going to recover from the leg injury that he suffered in the playoffs. So, I think he's going to be a complimentary receiver going in year 2. Next, Jerry Jeudy. Yes, it is time for him to break out. It is time. You have Sean Payton. I think Russell Wilson can get back to better playing days. Maybe not the prime MVP early season Russell Wilson, but I think with the things that Sean Payton can create in an offense, with Javonte Williams coming back healthy, Portland Sutton at the wide receiver position, it's time for Jerry Jeudy to break out, and I think he can with the tutelage of Sean Payton and the weapons that they have around him. Next is Khalil Foreman. He can have a breakout year as well. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown. You have a guy like Jameson Williams, who's not probably going to be there until week 7 because of the suspension. And I think that is going to be time for him to make his impact. They signed Marvin Jones in the offseason, but he's getting a little older. Josh Reynolds is solid. Jamil Gibbs out of the backfield, who they drafted, could be a help. And Khalil Foreman, I think, is going to have all the opportunity, especially during the first 6 weeks of the year, to really break out and make his spot in the roster known and make his impact felt. So, Khalil Foreman, I believe in him. Next is Jordan Love. We don't know what we're going to get for him. So, yes, he could potentially be a breakout player. He could potentially be a bust. We just don't know because we haven't seen much from him since he got drafted in 2020. He had one start, and that was it. It's been the Aaron Rodgers show ever since. So at this point, yeah, he could potentially break out, or he could potentially be bad. I can see it going either way, but he has some talent to be there. We just don't know what to get from him. He has some preseason games where he played well, but like I said, it's preseason. So we're finally going to see what Jordan Love can do in this offense. And I don't want him to do well as a Bears fan, but hey, we'll see. Texans Derek Stingley Jr., he had a lot of hype coming out of LSU in 2022. And I think now, with some of the moves that they made, with Petre being a very good player for them, I think with the head coach of D'Amico Ryans, who has that defensive mindset, Derek Stingley could be a guy that can potentially raise his level of play from what we expected it to be in 2022. And I think Derek Stingley is the perfect candidate to break out in Houston. Even though this roster is still very young, he could be the guy that could break out. Alec Pierce. I've liked Alec Pierce with the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to see what the quarterback situation is going to be, whether it's Richardson, whether it's Minshew to start off the year. Michael Pittman Jr. is the number one. Alec Pierce can have a really big impact. Paris Campbell is from the Ohio State. He's now gone to the New York Giants. It's going to open up more opportunity for Alec Pierce to get the football. So Alec Pierce, I've watched him, and he's a very solid receiver. And you can see with more opportunity, he could probably make more of an impact and break out a little bit more. So I actually agree with Alec Pierce being on this list. Next is Walker Little, the tackle from the Jacksonville Jaguars. This Jaguars team is a young team, but a very, very talented football team. You're going to need more help at that offensive line position, of course, to help protect Trevor Lawrence. And you're going to have a guy like Walker Little who can really be a better player and protect Trevor Lawrence, and you're going to need him to step up. So at this point, you're going to need better play from him on your offensive line to help with the running game and to protect Trevor Lawrence. So he could be a potential breakout, or he could be a potential bust depending on what happens. Next is Kansas City Chiefs, George Karlaftis. Now, I watched him in college, and he was a game wrecker in college. It's just you had Frank Parker had him last year. Now he's departed, and he's going to get more of an opportunity, and he's going to get more of a role in this Kansas City Chiefs defense, and he could break out with the attention going so much to Chris Jones at the middle. That's going to open up a little bit more of the edge, and George Karlaftis can really see some better play in 2023. Next is Raiders guard Dylan Parham. Now, this offensive line wasn't that great as far as protecting the quarterback last year, and he's going to need to step up. I think he had a little bit of an up and down year last year, but he could potentially be a better player in 2023. They have a guy like Josh Jacobs. We're still going to have to see if they get the contract done or not, but I think this could be a potential good player for them. Next is Isaiah Spiller from the Los Angeles Chargers, and he wasn't really utilized last year in the rookie. Austin Eckler is still on the roster, but I think if he has to break out year, he's going to have more opportunity, and I think they're going to have to decrease a little bit of the workload on Austin Eckler so he can stay healthy for a full season. And I think a guy like Isaiah Spiller is going to need to play more of a role to have more weapons for Justin Herbert on this Chargers offense so he could be potentially a breakout player for him. Next is Van Jefferson. I don't know exactly a breakout. He's never really been that top tier, I want to say, player. Van Jefferson, he's always been a very good contributor, a very solid wide receiver. But I can see a little bit as far as his role expanding. His role expanded a little bit last year, even with Cooper Kupp, and now that he didn't have Cooper Kupp for the last half of the year. Van Jefferson, maybe breakout statistically, but we know what his impact can be on this Rams offense. So maybe not potentially a breakout as far as impact or as far as what he can do. I just think it's probably more of an impact based off the numbers that he can put up, with probably Matthew Stafford being fully healthy. Maybe we're going to have to see, but I think Van Jefferson, I've always liked what he can do. So Van Jefferson is going to be the guy. Emmanuel Ogbah. He is a very good contributor, very good pass rusher, and the Dolphins are going to need that because even though you have two stout corners in Howard and Ramsey, you're still going to have to create some type of pressure on the quarterback. And Ogbah can probably benefit a lot from those guys being locked down. He can get up his sack numbers and really get a guy like Ramsey and Howard. They're going to get all the credit, but Ogbah can really be that piece, along with Jalen Phillips on the opposite side, really get after the quarterback. And I think his sack numbers are going to be a little bit better. Even though they've been double digits, I think they're going to have a little bit more impact with the Dolphins being a little bit better on the defensive side of the ball. So, Ogbah, I can see it. Alexander Mattison is a perfect one. Now with Dalvin Cook no longer there, he becomes the running back one for the Minnesota Vikings. And the things that Dalvin Cook did, I think Alexander Mattison can do a lot of those. He's maybe not as fast as Dalvin Cook, but I believe Alexander Mattison is going to take another step forward. Now that he's going to have more opportunity because he's not sharing the back load with a guy like Cook. So this is the perfect candidate as breakout for the Minnesota Vikings, is Alexander Mattison. Next is Ramondre Stevenson. I've always liked this game. He's been very physical. He has deceptive speed for his size. He's been a stronger running back. And he already had about over 1,400 yards in scrimmage last year. And I think the Patriots are still going to commit to running the football. So Ramondre Stevenson, breakout. I think he's going to put up better numbers, even though he had a solid 2022 in his own right. Ramondre Stevenson is going to be a very lookout back. Now that Damian Harris is no longer there, and you don't have to worry about that. Rashid Shaheed. Now this one is interesting. Michael Thomas potentially coming back healthy could be a big deal. You have Chris Olave, both of those from the Ohio State University at the wide receiver position. So Rashid Shaheed, he had his impact last year when Chris Olave missed some time with a concussion and Michael Thomas really didn't play much. Rashid Shaheed was a very solid pick for them. And now that they have, I think, better quarterback play with Derek Carr now being on the roster, yeah, I can see him having a potential breakout year in 2023. Kayvon Thibodeau going into year 2. Now, last year, towards the end of the year, Kayvon Thibodeau was starting to show why he had some of that hype going into the 2022 college season at Oregon. He started to play a lot better. His opportunity was there. He started to really get after quarterback. And I think his ceiling is only going to go up and up. And that's why he's on this list. Now, the Giants, I still don't believe him in the wide receiver category, which I think they could have done better. But that's neither here nor there. But Kayvon Thibodeau, perfect choice as breaking out as far as his sack numbers. I think are going to go up. But we're going to wait and see how this goes. But I think this is going to be a good pick for him. Next is Jermaine Johnson II. Yes. With this defense of Robert Saleh, you have DJ Reed, you have Sauce Gardner, CJ Mosley, Quentin Williams up front. It's only right for somebody to go get after the quarterback. And Jermaine Johnson has a lot of potential, which I think he can start to show here in 2023 with the way that this Jets defense is. And I think he's going to get more opportunity as far as rushing the quarterback, because offensively, they're probably going to be scoring a lot more points with Rodgers in the fold than what they did last year. So a lot of teams may be playing catch-up or whatever. And he's going to get more opportunity to get those sack numbers high and rush the quarterback. So this is a perfect candidate. Next is Nakobe Dean. Now that TJ Edwards is gone to the Chicago Bears, he's going to be stepped up into that role as that captain, as that linebacker, the one with the green dot on the helmet with the communications. We know what he did at Georgia. And he obviously didn't play a lot because of the things that they had already on their defense. But with the departure of TJ Edwards, he's going to step up more. He's probably going to have more impact. He's probably going to have better numbers. We know he can tackle very well. We know he's very physical. So Nakobe Dean heading into this year, I think he's going to be a very good player for this Eagles defense that went to the Super Bowl last year. Even though they lost some guys, I still think that Kobe Dean is a very good football player who's going to have impact on this Eagles team. Next is Kenny Pickett. Yes, I think he can break out year 2. You have Allen Robinson, Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, who I think was a kind of a steal in the draft in the second round last year. Kenny Pickett was the only quarterback that went in the first round in 2022. So I really think at this point it's made for him to break out. It's made for him to have a better year with Najee Harris in the backfield as well. So Kenny Pickett can potentially have a better year. Now that he's going to have a full season to start, they don't have to have the Mitch Trubisky and him controversy at this point. We know he's going to be the starter. He's going to get all the first team reps. He's going to get that offseason work that he's been getting. So Kenny Pickett can break out. I think he has the talent to do so. He's also a little bit mobile. So Kenny Pickett, I think, can do it. DeAndre Lamore for the San Francisco 49ers. Now, at this point, I think they're going to have a very talented defense. I think with Jimmy Ward leaving, they're going to have more expectations on their corners. So at this point, I can see a DeAndre Lamore probably having more impact, more of a role. He's going to have more opportunity. And I think he's a very talented football player. So at this point, yeah, I think he can have a better showing in 2023. Next is Tariq Woolen. This is interesting as a breakout candidate because he was almost a Pro Bowler last year. He had some Defensive Rookie of the Year talk last year. So I don't know about necessarily him breaking out. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Devin Witherspoon could be it. Maybe JSN. Maybe Kenneth Walker, maybe. I don't know. It's just weird that they have Tariq Woolen here. He already had basically a breakout in 2022. I kind of don't agree with this one. Off the top of my head, can't think of anybody right now besides Witherspoon, maybe besides JSN, but I don't know. It's not it. I just don't think he's going to be the breakout, but yeah. Rachaad White for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now this team is going into a transition. Leonard Fournette is no longer on the roster. Tom Brady is gone. I still think they're going to have an impact on the running game, and Rachaad White could be the guy that benefits from that. So at this point, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive line is going to be a lot more healthier than it was in 2022. And the way that their running game was the last 2 seasons before 2022 with that offensive line, Rachaad White could be a big benefit from that. So I'm going to agree with this. He can be a very good player for them and have a very good season. Treylon Burks. Now this is a little bit different now that they have DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins is still a top-tier receiver. He's going to take a lot of attention. Treylon Burks can be open. But my question is the quarterback play. What are they going to get out of the quarterback play with this Tannehill, whether it's Levis, maybe Malik Willis? Treylon Burks, he could be a perfect candidate for a breakout player if they get good quarterback play. And that is the question. That is the question for the Titans is quarterback play. Are they going to get it? Who knows? But we'll see. And Jahan Dotson, yes, he had a very good rookie campaign last year. Now, they have the similar situation to the Titans. What are they going to get out of quarterback? I believe letting Taylor Heinicke go may have been a little bit of a mistake. They got Brissett. I think Sam Howell is probably going to be the starter, but at this point, I'm surprised that they didn't take one or try to move to get another quarterback. Jahan Dotson, I really love what he does. He's a deep threat. He can get open with his speed, and he's a very complimentary receiver to Terry McLaurin from The Ohio State University. Curtis Samuel as well from The Ohio State University. So, Jahan Dotson, I think, can break out and probably move himself into that number 2 wide receiver role. I think he's already there, but he is a very good candidate for this Washington Commanders football team. But hey, those are my thoughts on this article. Make sure you guys leave this video a like. Comment you guys' thoughts down below. And as always, click the sub button. I am APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great next day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.